Y'all know what I said? We going live for this Ponderosa. I could not hold it till tomorrow. I said we got to go live tonight for this episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We on season 12, episode 15, Disco Inferno. And baby, you know I loves me a theme, okay? And so when they said disco, I said, you ain't said nothing but a word. Because I got a whole afro wig over here and some 70s gear for y'all tonight, baby. I said, you know what? I said, we getting on this live tonight. I can't even wait. Number one, I got Good Day DC tomorrow from 10 to 11. Then I got an interview at 12. So we got a lot of things going on, okay? But listen, we in the building. We in the building. We are in the building. Okay. Okay. Let us know where you watching from when you come up into the room. Y'all know how we do it. When you come up into the heist, you got to let us know where you watching from. All right. Because we knows and we like to know. Now, this gold chain getting on my nerves. All the bling getting on my nerves. All right. So listen. Okay. This episode here, baby. This episode was the episode I have been waiting on. And baby, they did not disappoint me tonight. Okay. Miss Mama Garcelle came through tonight. She had to stand up for herself. It was Mama Garcelle versus Diana. It was Mama Garcelle versus Erika. It was Mama Garcelle versus Lisa Rinna. It was Mama Garcelle versus the Dorit. It was just Garcelle had to clear the room tonight, baby. She had to clear the room tonight. And listen, I was not mad at one single bit of it. She didn't even come up out of, you know what? She didn't even have to come up out of character, okay, to handle these girls, all right? Not to handle them, baby, okay? And so I'm not mad at her, not one single bit, all right? Now, before we even really stage dive into it, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know how we do it. I want you guys to rate the episode on a scale of 1 to 10, okay? On a scale of 1 to 10, I need you guys to tell me what you would rate this episode. Now, y'all know because I just watched it, eyes fresh right now. And I'm going to have to tell you, I gave it a 10. I didn't know we was going to get all that, okay? I didn't know we was going to get all that. It was very little filler in this episode. And baby, they did a lot of foreshadowing for how they about to feel about Miss Kathy Hilton. The girls are not feeling Kathy Hilton, not one single bit, baby. And I am interested in what is going on here, okay? But baby, let me tell you something. Garcelle cleared. Garcelle did what needed to be done, okay? Did what needed to be done. All right. Yeah, I got it. I mean, it was Kathy, Garcelle, and Sutton for me. Kathy, Garcelle, and Sutton for me. Now, Cherie, I'm gonna need you to be an active participant. Okay. I'm gonna need you to step on up, say some words. Okay, when the stuff is going down, because these girls are not gonna hesitate to do what needs to be done. So, Miss Cherie, I'm gonna need you to come on into the room. Open your mouth, okay? Because I didn't see you in action before, and so we know you got it up in you. So I'm gonna need you to come on with the come on. All right, all right. So we start back at Dorito's house. Okay, Rena is apologizing at the homeless, not toothless charity. Okay, got to get that name right, baby. Because if you don't get that name right, they's gonna come after you. Okay, they's gonna come after you. And Kathy, so they bring out a birthday cake for Kyle Richards, and I'm thinking that the night is over. Kathy's like, well, okay, well, now what? So Rena thanks everybody for being there for her, and she says that she was triggered by Sutton. And Rena says that there's deeper issues here that we need to discuss. So Garcelle tells the extra girls, y'all can go, okay? Y'all can leave. Y'all remember them girls that were sitting off to the side over there? Home girls that was off to the left and to the right, that was still sitting at the table. She said, y'all could go. Get on out the table, get out the room, because it's time for the people. You know what I'm saying? It's time for the people tonight. And so Crystal then has to address her eating disorder. She tells the group she's seeing some people. Kat and Kyle says, well, girl, are you seeing the right folks? How dare she? You know what I'm saying? Like, you eat like for whatever reason, I understand that Kyle feels like she has the right to question Crystal about her treatment. But because Kyle has suffered her own issues, but everybody's issues is different for them. So let this girl live, okay? Let this girl live and let her go through her process on her own. For real. And so anyway, apparently Renna sent her to some new people. So Garcelle is like, okay, is anything else anybody needs to talk about? So here comes Sutton. Well, I didn't like being called, a friend that's a liability. I had a rough day on Saturday because I got called by an attorney about Tom and Erika's lawsuits because the attorney thought that I had information. Okay. And so she's not getting subpoenaed, but she had to hire a litigator to answer questions. And Erika's like, I know what they're going to ask you. They're going to ask you about something that you insinuated that you knew at the reunion. I told you to be quiet. And basically, Sutton's point is, girl, the liability in this group is you. You. And you alone. Okay? You are the one with the alleged criminal mastermind husband, okay? You the one. You the one with umpteen million lawsuits about your business, about earrings, about rings and such like that. You, madam, are the liability, whether or not anybody here wants to admit it or not, okay? If they wasn't so afraid of you, then they would be readily admitting that you are the liability. But because they afraid of you for whatever reason, I have no idea. Okay. So anyway, Dorit is like, well, you were the only person questioning Erika last year. Now hold up now. Now the flashback showed Garcelle asking questions. Crystal had questions, but Crystal said she had asked her attorney, but they didn't show that in the flashback. Kyle had questions. Dorito had questions. Everybody had questions. And Garcelle is like, she wasn't the only one. And I'm not being her bodyguard. Boom. Diana out of nowhere. Okay. Out of nowhere. Garcelle, you're the most guarded person here. Ma'am, what are you talking about? We are talking about the liabilities lying therein with the lady sitting beside you. And all of a sudden, you and your short arms are reaching for something that you cannot touch. Okay? So now you wants to make all of this about an issue that you got because Garcelle is guarded towards you. Might it have been because you were acting like a stark Raven Bi at her birthday event? I don't know. It might have been that. It could have been that. I really don't know. Okay. And Garcelle is just over. She's like, well, girl, what do you want to know? What you want to know? And Diana was like, well, I mean, I really feel like I had to work for your friendship and I got nowhere. And Garcelle is like, listen, girl, at your Christmas party, you said you felt like we got off on the wrong foot. So you can't say I shut you down because I was open to that conversation. Okay. Right. Diana, hush. We only want to see your credit card. Okay. And that's it. We know that the only reason you got on this show, allegedly, is because you are trying to promote your man child and his new album. Okay. And so anyway, Diana is like, well, yeah, I haven't seen you since. And Garcelle is like, girl, I ain't seeing you either. You ain't picking up the phone and calling me. And Garcelle is like, when did she try to get to know me? When she was going off on me and being a Stark Raven BI at my birthday party? Google me if you want to get to know me. Google me. Okay. I said, yes, Garcelle. Yes. You better Google me. Okay. Google me. Look at my IMDb if you want to get to know me. Check my Wikipedia page if you want to get to know me. What will we see when we Google you, Miss Diana? Dirty Diana. Room 23. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Renna stops the group. Garcelle, do you hear her? Do you really hear her? Garcelle is like, well, girl, what did you hear her say? Kathy is cracking. Kathy and Garcelle was the duo of the night, baby, because Kathy was cackling like I was here for it. Renna is like, I think she's sad and in pain. All of a sudden, Renna is Yoda. Okay. Renna has turned from a screaming and yelling like a banshee. Now she is queen of the peace and Lord of prosperity and love and light. Okay. When 5 minutes ago, you was just cursing Sutton out from across the table. Okay. I told y'all this woman got the rage and regret syndrome. She rage out and ball out on people, and now she, oh my God, I'm the queen and I'm the mistress of love and light. Please listen to what she's saying. Listen to her. Do you hear what I hear? And it's like, girl, shut up. Okay. Meanwhile, Renna is like, I think she's sad and in pain. And Diana was like, well, I would like to get to know you better. That's all I'm saying. Well, girl, say that. Okay. Pick up the phone, call her like any other adult would do, and tell her you want to get together. Okay. Garcelle, just for the sake of argument, I am quite sure, says, I would like to get to know you better as well. How do you feel about that, Renna? Is this better for you? Okay. Renna's like, I feel good about it. Why are you so defensive? And Garcelle is like, why aren't you saying to her, why is she so defensive? She is the person who started this. And Renna is like, you do sound defensive. Garcelle's like, well, why do I sound defensive? You tell me, because you're the one who said it. And Renna says, fear. Garcelle is like, girl, what am I fearful of? Renna is like, what I'm saying is to come from love. Garcelle is like, that's some bull swanky. Kyle in her confessional has to call it out. She's like, Renna, girl, notice she don't say it on the show. She says it in her confessional. She's like, girl, Renna, you are the last person that could talk about somebody coming from a place of love when you was just screeching at Sutton from across the table like a wild hyena. Okay, you need to practice what you preach. And Garcelle is like, just once, I would like for someone in this group to go, Garcelle, you were right. Kathy says, Garcelle, you were right. Kathy, to me, is a better road dog right now than Cherie. No lie. No lies were told today. Kathy, to me, was the road dog that Garcelle needed today. I don't care what nobody say. Kathy was the road dog, and that's it. Okay. And Kyle just kind of interprets for once on Garcelle's side. You want to feel supported. So Kyle says, I agree with Garcelle, and the night ends. Everybody laughs. Okay. So now It's the next day. Crystal is with her husband, and she is recapping the dinner party from last night. And basically, she tells him that the group wants her to get help, and she's feeling pressure from them, like she has to answer to them, and she gets emotional. Girl, you don't have to answer to none of these people. You can post what you want to post on social media. You can go through whatever you want to go through. None of your issues are affecting them in any way, shape, or form, and them and their judgment can go straight to you know where. Okay. Anyway, Kathy stops by, and of course, she too thinks, well, I think the girls love you, but they're not therapists. Thank you, Kathy. And she says, and you should not feel the pressure of answering all of their questions. Just say, yes, I have an issue and I'm working on it. Period. Dot. Okay. And by the way, Crystal, do you have a cracker? And a Diet Coke, okay? And a little glass and some peanuts and some cheese, okay? Because I came over here expecting a spread and you have nothing for me on this table right here, okay? Now, I'm gonna need y'all to feed me something, a cracker, a morsel or something. I mean, anything you got in the refrigerator at this point will do, because right now this counter is looking real empty. And I came over here to give you some sage advice. The least thing that you could do is offer me a plate of cheese or something. Give me something, okay? Um, yes, Garcelle did give the incremental smoke. It was balanced. It was quite balanced. I felt like that's why I feel like Garcelle did not come out of herself. Okay. Um, and I liked that. Okay. Right. Accept those nuts and carry on, Kathy, because that's all you getting from here. Okay. Um and when she said, "Can I have a cracker?" I was like, "Oh girl, she done worked up an appetite." Kyle is opening some birthday gifts. She's surrounded by Mauricio, all her kids, and 12 dogs. Rena and Erika meet for lunch. We learned that Harry and Lisa shot for People magazine. Ooh, she's working. Um, she says she didn't expect the breakdown at the dinner party at the homeless but not toothless charity gala. Okay. And she says that Sutton is a trigger for her, as it is for you, Erika. And Rena says, "Well, why did Sutton say that about you in this lawsuit?" And Erika's like, you know, Sutton's mouth is a liability, and there are moments where she's kind of fun or whatever. They agree that Sutton is her own worst enemy, and the Rena beauty party is coming up, and it's disco themed. And Rena says she wants to have some fun after she's been so hard on Sutton. I got a huge problem with Lisa Rinna. I got a real big problem, but we're going to discuss that in a minute. Anyway, speaking of being hard on Sutton, Kyle and her new Birkin link up with Sutton for drinks and some more torture of Sutton. Okay. Um, Kyle, of course, says, "You really threw everyone for a loop with that whole Erika lawsuit thing." And Sutton is annoyed with Erika for calling her a liability. And I would be annoyed too. How is the chick with the umpteen thousand lawsuits calling somebody else a liability in this group? Girl, you are taking alcohol and medications that are not supposed to be mixing, and you want to call somebody else a liability. You just cursed out somebody's 14-year-old son, but you want to call somebody else a liability? If you don't get out of here with that, with these these plastic extensions. Well, I don't know what kind of extensions they are allegedly. I don't know. Just get out of here with all of them. Meanwhile, I mean, listen, hey, if you like extensions and if you like platinum blonde extensions, I say go get you some, because I want to see everybody win in their endeavors and whatnot. But I don't know about it. I don't know. The extensions to me, the extensions to me are giving this. I don't know. They're giving this, right? Like, okay, this is what those extensions are giving. Let me show you. Okay, I'm gonna have to give me a second to adjust my natural hair. Okay. Okay, this is This is what those extensions give to me. Okay. This is what they give. All right. Okay. So now we got some extensions. These are not pretty mess extensions, but they are a mess extensions. Okay. They are a mess extensions. Um, yes. And so that's what they get. That's what they get. I gotta let me see. I gotta adjust them under my natural hair. Hold on. Okay, yes. So they give this type of look, mhm, if you will. All right. And so anyway, ooh, something in my eye. Okay. Ooh, oh my God. Something in my eye. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. You can see it, right? Is the extension high enough? I don't know how they do it. But anyway, um, so anyway, Sutton says it bothers me that there's a woman in this group who put all of us in a bad position. Okay. And all y'all do is defend her. And Kyle says, well, why do I feel like you're on the defensive with me? Can we say gaslighting? How is she on the defensive with you when she is just telling you the absolute truth? Okay. How is she defensive when she's being truthful with you, but yet you can tell her she's a difficult person to argue with. You can berate her, you can throw her around like a rag doll, but she can't tell you the truth, which is that you all defend this woman to the ends of the earth, despite the fact that the law wants to get her thing through some lawsuits, allegedly. But anyway, okay. But anyway, this Kyle switches subjects. Sutton has a date. And Kyle tells her, well, you know what? Maybe you should go out on a date and look a little poorer. You know what I'm saying? I said, look a little poorer. You should look a little. Oh, okay. What should she? Should she take a Dooney and Burke bag instead of her Chanel bag? Is that what she should do? No, 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 no. Okay. Kyle's thing is look like a damsel in distress, and my thing is no. This is what you do, Sutton. Let me give you some advice. If you are a real friend, this is what you would tell somebody. You go on a date, you take yourself your Chanel bag, so the person that you dating understands the lifestyle that you are trying to live, that you are actually living, because you can buy your own Chanel bags. And if this man cannot meet the criteria that you are looking for, not that you are expecting him to buy a bag, but you are expecting him to come to the table equally yoked, okay? And ain't nothing wrong with looking for somebody who is equally yoked. You ain't got to play some damsel in distress and come up to the table, in a pocketbook that you done got from Rhobh. You don't have to do that. Don't dumb yourself down when you are trying to date somebody. They need to level up to meet you. What kind of mess is that? What kind of advice is that? Get out of here with And here's what the thing that I get from Kyle. For me, Kyle treats Sutton the way she used to treat Kim on this show. So when you would go back and you watch this show and you watch the interactions between Kyle and Kim, Kyle treated Sutton the same way that she used to treat Kim on this show, which is why the relationship always felt a little bit toxic. And looking back on it, I can understand some of the reasons why it felt like that. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately it was Kim Richards against the world, okay? When Kim Richards got into it with Lisa Rinna and with Eileen back in Amsterdam, and when Lisa Rinna reached out for Kim's throat and Kim didn't back down, and Lisa Rinna tossed that glass on the table, where was Kyle Richards when Kim needed her on her side? Kyle Richards was running out of the restaurant as if someone had thrown a glass at her. So to me, this relationship that I see with Kyle and Sutton is just reminiscent of the same type of relationship that she used to have with Kim, bossing her around, yanking her like a rag doll. Okay. Meanwhile, everybody's getting glam for the 70s party. Okay. Kyle's dogs are eating up the Rena beauty products as they typically do. Okay. Um, it's a rooftop. I don't know where the bartenders are. And Miss Cheryl, the party planner, you need to get these bartenders there on time because Lisa Rinna needs her lemons for these drinks now. Anyway, Sutton and Crystal arrived, then Cherie, Erika, Garcelle, followed by Kyle and Dorit. Somehow they managed to all take, this. Actually, it's an amazing group photo that I do kind of like. I don't know how they managed to do it based on all the chaos that occurred, but somehow they managed to get it all in. Okay. So Kyle says, and then Kathy arrives. I don't know if Kathy's supposed to be dressed in the 70s, but Kathy came looking like Kathy, and that's just that on that. So, and Diana was there too. But anyway, Kyle invites all the girls to Aspen, and there's going to be 2 houses. But that ain't enough for Miss Dirty Diana, because Diana got to stay in the hotel, because Diana not about to be fooling around with these girls in these rooms and things like that. Diana wants to stay in her penthouse suite, and I am not mad at that. This is probably one of the only times where I can absolutely 100% agree with something that Diana is doing. Yes, girl, stay at a hotel, find your own penthouse, stay at the top, actually fly in on a helicopter, okay? Somehow, some solid gold dancers come out. Everybody dances. We learned that Kathy is doing the reel. Cherie asks what is the secret to the long marriage between Kathy and her husband. Kathy says that he's an old-fashioned guy with old-fashioned values. And he even said today, you get caught doing one wrong thing and you are canceled. And I said, ooh, that's some foreshadowing right there. Okay. I was loving it. I said, ooh, something about to happen in the next couple of weeks. Anyway, Kyle get to stir in the pot. Sutton, how are you feeling since we last spoke at dinner after Dorit's? See, here's the thing. Kyle, I feel like I don't need to know that you are like the co-executive producer. You don't have to narrate exactly what you want to say and get out of the situation. But the entire night, Kyle guides this conversation along. And I'm thinking to myself, y'all worked so hard to get rid of Lisa Vanderpump, but at least Lisa Vanderpump was was had enough finesse to know how to do the dirty work without being seen doing it. Okay, allegedly, Lisa Vanderpump could make the girls do whatever she needed them to do without us ever seeing her pull the strings. Kyle does not work so inconspicuously. Hers is, hey, gang, it's time to have the ponderosa of the night. Sutton, let's talk about what you said the other night to me in the conversation, even though we had already squashed this at Dorit's Toothless Not Homeless dinner. Okay? Oh, God. So Kathy wants to know, what are y'all talking about? Are we all going? Kyle, is we going out tonight or not? And Kyle is like, Kathy, not now. I'm trying to direct a scene. Please work with me. So Sutton has to repeat the conversation that she had with Kyle that has already been squashed. And then Kyle is like, Well, I don't know what Erika meant by liability. Can someone please explain it to me? Erika, please explain to me what you mean, scene. Okay. And so at that point, Erika's like, oh, I meant that Sutton is a hindrance to Garcelle making friends in the group. What she really means by that is that Sutton is too willing to call out the BS and the shenanigans that are going on within the group that nobody wants to talk about. And because Garcelle is friends with her, then that makes her an outsider as well, because they have all agreed to cover their own behinds, and Sutton is not following along according to the plan, and therefore neither is Garcelle. Boom. Okay. So Sutton turns to Garcelle. Am I a hindrance to you? Garcelle, no. And so then at that point, Kyle says, well, Erika, so you're saying, directing the scene again, so you're saying the relationship is keeping us from getting to know Garcelle? Erika says, yes. Instead of seeing me for me, Garcelle, you're seeing me through Sutton's eyes, as if Garcelle didn't have a mind of her own. Okay. So Garcelle is like, well, you can't treat me well, then treat my friend bad, and then me be okay with you. Okay. Now that's ride or die right there. That's real friendship right there. That's how we rock, okay, in friendship circle. You know what I'm saying? Cherie, I'm gonna need you to hop on in here, okay? At some point, instead of just sitting over there looking cute, okay? Hop on in, girl. Hop on in at any point in time. The ball is floating around the group. Grab it at some point. So meanwhile, Dorit, because then Dorit jumps in and says, Sutton, last week you said to Erika she has a lot of lawsuits, and that was below the belt. And Renna was like, that's mean. And I'm like, that's the truth. Have you not seen the news? The girl is being served with a new lawsuit literally almost every other week. What are you talking about? It was rude. It was wrong. It was below the belt. No, it is the news. It is the truth. It is happening. Whether you want to acknowledge it or not, it's happening. And you're not going to gaslight the audience into believing that these lawsuits are not happening. Okay. That's frustrating for us to continue to watch. And you know what? Just when I was almost starting to like Dorit again, here she come with the BS. Okay. And so anyway, Renna is back on her rage and regret with Sutton, even though she's vowed to be on her best behavior, cried her eyes out, trauma dumped on us, and then told us she was going to do better. And so she says, and Sutton was like, it wasn't me. Renna was like, yes, it was. And Sutton tells her, like, girl, okay, you're being aggressive. Renna, I don't care if I'm aggressive. And I'm thinking to myself, here we go. Renna's like, I'm not having your back right now. I'm not having her back either. And Sutton is like, you never have my back. Renna's like, have your own effing back, Sutton. So then Kyle once again narrates the sequence of events, okay? Now, for whatever reason, okay, nobody, and I do mean nobody, can get the name of this charity.
It's not Toothless and Homeless Foundation. Not toothless and homeless. Homeless, not toothless. Homeless, not toothless. The name is not amazing, but they do good work. Forget it as a toothless, not homeless charity. No, it's not homeless, not toothless.
They should maybe rename that organization.
I have worked with the homeless. I have worked with the toothless.
I've worked with homeless too. Okay. Anyway, nobody can get this name right. Can't nobody get the name right. Dorit is angry at Kathy for not getting the name right. Kathy almost had it right. Kathy said homeless and toothless. Dorit gets mad. Kathy is homeless, not toothless. And she gets mad at Garcelle too, but Garcelle and Cherie are cracking up. And Garcelle is like, well, girl, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Kathy. Okay. And Kyle says the name, it really isn't great or whatever. Nobody can remember the name. Kyle, in trying to direct the scene again, forgets the name again, needs to be corrected by Crystal. Then Erika has to correct her again. Kathy tells her, honey, I'm sorry. I've worked with the homeless and with the toothless. But the funny thing about this is, here is where you can begin to see the cracks in the relationships and the lady's tolerance of Kathy Hilton. Now, I ain't gonna lie. Kathy was cracking me up. Okay, I I feel bad for Dorit's charity and things like that. But at the end of the day, I mean, maybe they might need another name. Okay, maybe they. But the thing about it is, if you think about it, they got a lot of promotion tonight because the name was said hundreds of times. Okay, it was said hundreds of times. Anyway, so Kyle then reveals that Lisa still has some strong feelings about Sutton. Again, oh my God, let it go. And Rena's like, yes, I do. If I say I love myself if I say I love you 1 minute and I don't the next, I'm gonna cut myself some slack because I'm trying to work through some grief. Now, we didn't talked about trauma dumping earlier this week, okay? And for those of you guys who are unfamiliar, trauma dumping is basically if I come to you with an issue, you decide to make my issue about something dealing with something that you're going through, right? And you're going to say to me that the reason why I'm treating you so poorly is because I am going through X, Y, and Z. That doesn't really negate the fact that you are treating me poorly. So when Rena says she says she's gonna cut herself some slack if she says she loves Sutton 1 minute and then mistreats her the next. No, that's unacceptable. And you cannot trauma dump on us and then or on Sutton and then treat her poorly because you are going through with your mother because she is not your personal punching bag. And the funny thing about it is you're making her specifically your target in your angst that you are dealing with regards to your mother. Maybe you, instead of directing Crystal to therapy, should seek some therapy for yourself, okay? While you're so busy worried about what's happening in Crystal's home and in with Crystal's with Crystal's going on, you are over here peddling all of your angst and throwing it at Sutton when you need to be dealing with your own issues in your own home with your own therapist and leave this woman alone. Okay? So Sutton, who to me, again, is like the girl who wants to be in the popular club and wants to sit at the table of the popular club, is willing to do whatever it takes to do so, which I'm getting a little bit over because, girl, at a certain point, you are asking for it. Now, you can sometimes hold your own, but I feel like in this moment, you are trying to make excuses. Well, I know I can be a little bit of a wild card and a loose cannon. No, girl, stand in what you say. You tell these women the truth, and that is the thing that they do not like about you. Do not acquiesce, do not change, do not make excuses for what you do, because you are the only person, you and Garcelle are the only people holding these women accountable for the shenanigans, the tomfoolery, the debauchery that they continue to try to pull week after week by trying to magically make us unsee what we are actually seeing in the news, okay? So then we get to the Erika of it all, because as Sutton is rambling, Erika's like, oh, and I have a drinking problem, but we'll get to that one later, okay? And Garcelle is like, oh. And Erika's like, ma'am. And Diana says, do you have a drinking problem? And Garcelle is like, I don't have a drinking problem. And then Erika's like, well, neither do I, but you keep trying to push it. Okay. And Garcelle is like, well, yeah, because there are so many instances where you are out of control. And and Erika's like, three. Now, I don't know why Garcelle didn't pull this out of her bra, okay? Because I would have been like, girl, you cursed out my son, okay? I don't care about these other 2 times. That was enough for me to realize that you have a problem for which I talked to you about twice. So why you're coming to me acting like this is the first time I've ever mentioned it is beyond me. But whatever, okay? So Erika says, you know exactly what I've been going through, and I've told you straight up what happened, but you try to push that false narrative that I have a drinking problem. Garcelle says, no, that's not what I did. Erika. And then Erika's like, yes, Garcelle. And Garcelle is like, you need to figure out your medicine and your drink ratio, which is the truth. Okay. She said it to her face twice. Twice. And Erika's like, I did. Are you trying to get over or are you trying to be helpful? And Garcelle is like, that's how I felt. And when I had drinks with you, I said I was worried about you. And Erika's like, are you though? Are you? Are you? And Garcelle is like, yeah. So Erika's like, well, if I have a problem, you would be the last to know because these women here, over here, in this group, in the Fox Force, would be the ones who are closest to me, and they would be the ones who would know. And Garcelle is like, oh, I know. You guys say that almost every other day. Okay. Erika's like, well, what I mean is they would have noticed my behavior and probably pull me aside and be like, oh, what's going on with and what's wrong with you? So right when she said this, a light bulb went off in my head. My belief, now let me put this alleged badge up here. My belief is that at this point in the season, no one had a conversation with Erika about her drinking. And I believe that the conversation with Lisa Rinna and Erika and Erika's assistant, homeboy, stylist, or whomever, my belief is that scene was thrown together later and then thrown in an earlier episode to make it look as though someone else had a conversation with Erika, because otherwise she would not have said, what I mean by that is they would have noticed my behavior and probably pull me aside and be like, okay, what's going on with you? What's wrong with you? That is the only thing that makes any sense for this scene right here. So I just want to know why, producers, would you, if this happened, why would you throw that scene up in there earlier? Was it to sort of curtail this notion that, oh, Erika's drinking too much, so we need to put this in there to show someone confronting her about it, which at this point in time, truthfully, in reality, no one did. And the only reason I'm thinking that is because of what Erika is saying here herself, unless she is purposely lying and omitting the fact that she herself had to have a come to Jesus with her friends, Lisa Rinna, and some other dude, I can't remember his name. Is that the case? Somebody needs to let me know this, okay? Because for right now, what it seems like is that scene was thrown in as an extra, all right? Meanwhile, Erika's like, well, if you felt, it felt like you went to different people in the group asking if Erika has a problem, you know, because she likes to speak to herself and speak about herself in third person. And Garcelle is like, I'm not just getting with people to talk about you, Erika. Now, the flashback shows her having 2 conversations with both Kyle and with Dorit. But again, after those conversations, Garcelle then had a second conversation with Erika herself. So Erika knew exactly how Garcelle felt about this situation. So then Erika says, well, is that to make Erika look bad? And Garcelle is like, girl, I don't need to make you look bad. You can do that on your own. Okay? You gotta watch, pay attention, take your notes, and really look at these things. Thank you, Ms. Green. So anyway, So at that point, Garcelle, no, Erika's like, oh, well, then you can make yourself look like a liar. And Garcelle is like, I'm not a liar. Your drinking doesn't really affect my life one way or another. But I would have been like, well, girl, it affects your life when she cursing out your son. So you need to make sure you mention that at every opportunity because I would never let that go. Anyway, bottom line is if Erika wants to destroy her life, she will do so. So Garcelle says, go ahead, destroy your life, burn it up. I don't care. Incinerate yourself for all I care. Garcelle tells her that's the perception that you got from the women that you were talking to as well. And then Dorit chimes in again with, well, you had questions and then you said, when I told you that I didn't see that there was a problem, you said, don't be a Kyle, don't be a Kyle. And Garcelle is like, girl, you are being dramatic because, at this point in time, Dorit needs some type of moment to hold on to this diamond, okay? Because listen, as much as I like her fashions, homie ain't got nothing going on, okay? She ain't got not anything going on interesting. Anyway, Dorit is like, well, I guarantee you said it more than once. And Kathy says, guys, we're supposed to uplift each other. And Garcelle is like, not in this group. Kyle, yet again, tries to narrate the issues. And Sutton is like, okay, Erika, listen, let me just reach out to you tomorrow. And Erika's like, please don't. Kathy turns to Garcelle and says, why did I get snapped at about the toothless and homeless charity? Listen.
Foundation, not toothless and homeless. Homeless, not toothless. Homeless, not toothless. The name is not amazing, but they do good work. Forgetting about the toothless, not homeless charity.
No, it's
Not
homeless,
homeless.
not toothless. They should maybe rename that organization.
I have worked with the homeless. I have worked with the toothless.
Lord, if they don't change the name of that organization, they better, baby. They better change that name. I ain't got time for none of these gals tonight, baby. I got to go to bed. These wigs is hot. I don't know how these people do it with the wig, the extensions, and all that other kind of things like that. But y'all know, when we got a theme, your boy got to come through with the theme. Now, y'all know how we do it when we end these shows. I love y'all, and we're going to dance our way on up out of here.